Hello, this video shows you how to create an application written in ReactJS using the platform of CodePen.io. This is the screen of CodePen.io. You can sign up for an account for free. The steps are easy, so I leave it up to you to do it. Now, assuming that you already have an account, so you can see that all the files you have created before are shown here, and they are listed as pens. Okay, and if you want to create a new file, you can click pen here, and then you can just enter the HTML code on the left hand side, like what I'm doing here. Okay, so if you type in anything, you will see that the result is shown immediately. For example, hello world. And then in a few seconds, you will see that the result is shown here. Okay, so let's try to create a React.js application. So instead of this hello world, I'm going to replace it with this element here. Okay, with the ID of div, with the ID of root. Okay, it can be any name you want, but I call it div as a convention. Okay, so for the JS, for JavaScript, I'm going to copy something from elsewhere, and you can see that it creates an element called hello world. Okay, notice that this syntax is not JavaScript. Okay, because in JavaScript you have to write something like this, okay, to make it a string. Okay, but now it's not a string, so it's a JSX. And then this is calling the React DOM object, and try to use its render method to render this element, the element which is here, and then send it to the target, which is root. The root is this one. Okay, and you can see that nothing is shown here. It's because we need to use the React DOM object, but we haven't imported the class yet. So we need to do some settings. So click settings, and then click JS, and then you need to use the Babel or Babel JavaScript preprocessor. Okay, save changes. And now you see that we have Babel here. Okay, so this line is no longer an error. However, the results are still not showing. So why? Because we need to go to settings, and then we again go to JavaScript, and then search for React. Okay, you can use any library that is found here. I will use the first one. And then you also need the React DOM library. Okay, click save and close. Now both are imported, and now you see that hello world is rendered here correctly. Okay, so now let's try to create our real application. So in our real application, we are going to create something called a skills application. Okay, so I replace, instead of element, I call skills app. Okay, so I have to replace something, right? I have to replace element by something else. So I'm going to have an application called skills app. So I'm going to replace this with these lines. Okay, so let me adjust the layout a little bit for you to see more clearly. So you can see that I have the skill app tab here, which is actually a function. Okay, and this function has some properties. Okay, and this function will return a div. This div contains the skills title and then 3 skills list. Now, which means what? Which means I must have another function which defines skills title and skills list. So let's do it. So let's copy the code for skills list. Okay, so this is the code for skills list, which is this one. Okay, and then we need the skills title code, right? So let's go to a skills title. So now we have the skills title component, you may say. Now, as you can see, there's nothing being rendered here, okay, which means something is still wrong. Why? Because if we look at the skills list, okay, you can see that. Let's go to skills list. Yes, here. Okay, skills list. So inside skills list, there's another tag which is called skill. Okay, however, we only have skill app, skill list, and skill title, but no skills, no skill. So let's copy the code for skill and paste it here. Okay, it can be anywhere you want, but I choose to place it here. Okay, now the code is complete and everything is shown here. Okay, so you can change the contents here and the changes will be reflected in this page.